Yo, everybody, what is up? We are live here for another WrestleSense episode, the podcast that we try to make sense of some pro wrestling stuff. A little friendly debate and discussion about pro wrestling today. Little different format, new time. I want to thank everyone for showing up. 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern. We'll be here Thursday nights when we can. We got Wally in the house. Yes, sir. Verifying the new time. Thank you, Wally. You're hired. PFW's in the building. Good to see you. Shifty and Platinum Dragon Studios is in the house. Clinton's in the building as well. Nightbot will be dropping the links to the featured members of the channel as well. So definitely support the other channels out there if you can. I dig it. Riley Wolf is in the building. Big Riley. Angelita, great to see you. Good to see you all. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and share it out. We have a preview of what's coming up on Saturday. And talk about 3 different shows that went down real quick. And then we got a little featured segment here tonight where we need the involvement of you guys in the chat. So spread the word. Stick around. We want to know what you guys think here at the end as well. We're going to try something a little different. Let's throw all 3 y'all peckerheads in here.
Snap. Look at that. What is up?
Doc Ray, CJ, welcome. What's going on, everybody, from the side?
Howdy.
What up?
Doc, you look like someone shat in your cereal. You need to cheer up.
Yeah,
my brother.
turn that sound upside
Just tired,
down,
man.
Guy.
Doc, I want to have a race. You got a little bit of head start on me on the goatee, but I want to have a race. I can't grow hair.
I'm shaving this bad boy this weekend.
Good.
Big show
I
this
haven't
weekend,
not-
so gotta shave it.
I haven't not had a beard since 1994.
Mine's
Really?
coming back. I'm letting it grow.
I shaved this off last week, and I started to have a double chin. I'm like, nope, growing that shit.
My
bro.
wife and I have
ain't
been
fucking
together for 20 years, and she's never seen my chin. For all she knows, I have a nutsack under here.
sorry. Ooh. I don't know. Never
The
know.
Balchinians.
Let's get right into
Yeah.
it. Let's not mess around. Let's take it in from the
Let's
side.
do
Bring
it.
it on.
Ooh.
Apparently, our graphics department has
Okay.
ADHD.
Yeah, I'm too excited today. I'm pressing all these wrong buttons and right buttons. And, I want to wish a big happy birthday to Cowboy John earlier this week. I think it was 34, 35, or 36, something like that. Cowboy John, happy birthday, my brother. Big time. Uh-oh, he's coming in from the fog and the smoke. What's this? E in the house.
Yo,
There he is. Hey.
Was that
What's
your
up?
What's up?
Undertaker entrance?
So,
nah, I just literally walked
to
in
see
the
you.
door from softball, so it's been a long day.
Cool.
Good.
I
We're
just,
keep
I
it
just got
sweet
done
to
getting
the point.
stabbed in the arm thousands of times.
Nice.
Nice.
That's
Did you get a
fun.
tattoo?
Getting work done on my sleeve, yeah.
Mushroom tattoo. Yeah.
Monstar Manscaped.
Oh,
Good for
my.
him. Glad he took care of business as well. Not that we need.
I actually told him, I was like, if I fall asleep in the tattoo chair, you just have to promise not to draw a dick on my arm.
Oh,
And I was like,
geez.
if you do it, it needs to be like, where's Waldo? It better be hidden, and you got to search for it.
Is it hope? Was it
said
hope?
doo-doo.
Yeah.
You literally just said doo-doo.
Doo-doo.
Yeah,
Now,
whatever.
the first thing I want to cover, I actually covered last week. We were talking about it, and I told you about the matches coming up. So we're going to go right into it here from the side and talk about it.
Yeah.
Real quick, this is coming up tomorrow in D.C., Washington. Capitol.
Saturday, not tomorrow.
Saturday. I keep thinking it's Friday. Brody King is going to take on Minoru Suzuki. And I said these matches last week, and I was like, man, it seems like a pretty good card. They added like 4 or 5 matches that really doesn't matter. But Ishii
Nice.
and Kingston should be a very brutal affair. Looking forward
Is
to
this
that.
going to be on pay-per-view?
I'm not
Fight.
sure. I'm sure I could
It's
probably
on
get it on
Fight.
that
Yeah,
completely
I'm sure.
legal site that I watched Impact on.
You'll be able to get it probably.
Okada and Beretta versus Jay White and Hikuleo. Another
I like
one.
it. I
and
like
then
it.
I like it.
the one I'm really looking forward to, I believe, is next. Tanahashi, Juice, Ospreay, and Moxley.
I mean, the whole card that you've shown looks pretty stacked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
To be honest.
that's
And
why I figured-
honestly, if you're looking for something to prime you for the Forbidden Door pay-per-view
Yeah.
in June, this would be great because you're seeing, just in the couple matches you've shown, you've seen a lot of the heavy hitters.
Yep.
The one that I'm wondering about, and I know you guys have probably seen some rumblings in the news, is Kota Abushi. One of their primetime players is going ham on NJPW's management, saying about shitty work conditions, lies, contract shit, all kinds of stuff.
I have
Yeah,
not
he is
seen
bad.
that.
last couple
Yeah.
days. We'll see that unfold. That should be pretty interesting. Of course, Okada there in the center too.
Interesting.
The other
where he ends
interesting
up.
thing about that is Kota Abushi is real life best friends with Kenny Omega. Omega tried to get him to come to AEW and to America, 2 years ago, whenever he re-signed with NJPW. And now, obviously, that might seem like a lot more attractive option. And even though Abushi is, mostly known overseas, he is a top 5 worker.
NXT, wasn't he, for quite a while?
He did the Cruiserweight Classic.
Yeah.
He was never actually
Yeah,
technically in
Bullet Club.
NXT. He did a few matches while he was there, but he did the Cruiserweight Classic. WWE made a hard push to try to sign him, but he had no interest in moving stateside.
Okay.
So
okay.
boys, let's talk about the elephant in the room here, and that's definitely Will Ospreay. So for those that don't know who he is, he's probably the best non-big time wrestler there is, right?
One of the best.
I would definitely say he's one of the top non-American, or well, let's say not signed to an American major fed.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, like Ray said, this is kind of, and this is why I wanted to talk about it too. It's like prepping us, and we're getting used to more of these names: Okada, Suzuki, Ishii, Naito, Nagata, Kenta, Ibushi. All those names you're hearing more of because of the Forbidden Door. Take a shit, yeah, him too. He's fighting Hangman next week on AEW, which would be pretty cool. I believe it's non-title.
The reason I bring it up is because he's that name that everybody talks about. Oh, there's a Joker. It's going to be Will Ospreay.
I don't agree. I don't talk about him at all, but
yeah.
What's that?
I'm not a huge mark for him. I'm sorry, but
what I'm saying is he's that guy. He's that guy that everybody's talking about. He's that guy. Oh, he's going to be here. He's that true Forbidden Door.
Yeah,
I do agree with E in this aspect, and that's because he's one of the guys that every time there is a mystery something or possible, like Ospreay is a name that comes up because to the indie smart marks, if you want to call them that, the wrestling observers, the dirt sheets, the Wade Kellers of the world, Ospreay is one of those guys that they love, that gets pushed, that gets talked about, even though, again, he's in NJPW, which doesn't get a shit ton of coverage here stateside. But he's one of the ones that they talk about. He's one of the ones that when you see on an indie show or a strong show wrestling somebody of note, that they're automatically saying, oh, this is going to be an amazing match. And for good reason. Yeah. Ospreay went viral a few years ago with Ricochet in basically a fucking comic book, airbender, crouching tiger, hidden dragon match.
I mean, it's athletic as hell, don't get me wrong. But the older I get, the more I'm about the stories, man. And
here's the thing about Ospreay too, and CJ, I know you're not a huge mark for that type of shit with his acrobatics. Yeah. But Ospreay gets pigeonholed kind of the same way Kenny Omega did early in his career, is that's all he can do. But that is not true. The man can tell the story really well. There was a match from...
It's a stereotype.
Yeah, 1 or 2 weeks ago, him versus Zeus... who was he? Sorry, I mixed some of the Japanese guys up that I don't know by face. But they're saying it was a 45-minute, hard-hitting, storytelling, just excellent match. Right. And I've tried to... I haven't had the time to watch it yet, but I really do want to watch it because, like you, I only see the high-flying clips and the highlight reel shit, where I would like to see something else from him.
Yeah.
Doc, this is a guy that you would probably like. Would you like to see him in AEW? You're that guy. Is he your type of wrestler in AEW?
What do you mean by that guy?
You're that guy that likes the small you're that guy that likes that small wrestler, that acrobatic move that,
I've watched Will Ospreay against Ricochet. Some amazing matches there. He's hit or miss with me, to be honest with you. I'm more excited when I looked at that whole card is that 4-way, just for the simple fact is I'm excited to see Juice.
Yeah, Juice is cool.
Juice is great. That was another missed opportunity by WWE. And as much as I give WWE shit, that's where I'd like to see Ospreay go. But only if he goes the route of bypassing NXT and going straight to the main roster. I think that someone like Ospreay is somebody that WWE needs in a young, charismatic, good-looking guy, kind of like Austin Theory, but that knows already how to tell a story and can kind of inject a different style. Because that's the one thing about WWE TV right now to me is, one, I don't think even though they have this amazing depth, they don't showcase it.
Right.
And when they do showcase the depth, the matches are so cookie cutter because WWE has a style
time
they like.
constricted, or one thing or the other. Right. I agree.
Which I'll get into that when we cover WWE a little bit, but I've noticed a trend here on Raw, and I'm really digging it.
All right.
I don't know. Do you want to go to that, or
that's coming up? We're going to do when we talk about Backlash. We'll talk about that. So
okay,
let's talk about Forbidden Door, Missing Person, Joker, some of the stuff that happened last night. I really enjoyed last night's show. I was just telling CJ earlier.
Well.
I marked out for a lot of the show, and I enjoyed the Hookhausen stuff, the Wardlow stuff, Jungle and Starks, the Jericho stuff, the Punk and Hungy match. The one thing I do want to point out, though, is the Dark Side promo that they pulled off.
Yeah, that was awesome. I
really
thought it was a promo for the new season of Dark Side.
Did you see that, Doc? Did you catch that?
Yeah.
It was Doc. You're so enthusiastic tonight. Here we go.
I'm just tired, man.
I got you. So I enjoyed that as well. A lot of people are talking about the Darby Hardy match.
It was good. Like I said, you expected that out of them, but I mean, they at least sold the big spots and didn't pop right back up, in my opinion. I mean,
they didn't die.
Yeah, they didn't.
Oh my
die,
god, dude!
right?
That chair spot was insane.
Look,
I did everything last night.
I was impressed by the Hardy and Allen match because they did go all out, but with the exception of last night's match, I thought Jeff Hardy has looked like shit since his AEW. His match 2 weeks ago on AEW, I thought he looked sluggish. He looked like just not really there with it. Now, last night he did turn it on and showed that he can still kind of go.
For sure.
The only thing that and I don't know if this was time constraints or what, but when they did the ladder spot onto the stack of chairs, the whole setup was done really fucking wonky. So
I don't know.
If you go back and watch it, trust me, Jeff Hardy rolls out of the ring and drops to the ground, probably because he was blown up and wasn't in position to take it. And then right at the last minute, he stands up and awkwardly gets into position, making it unbelievable. And Darby never slowed down to wait for him to get in position.
Well, of course he did.
He was like, fuck it, we're going.
Right.
So we did this last week and talked about the tournament, but now we know on the right side we have Darby and Hardy and Adam Cole.
Let's not discount that match. Yeah.
Hats off to Dax Harwood, man.
I mean,
that's a good match.
On another fucking level right now.
I wanted Dax to win, but I understand why it was Adam, and it makes more sense.
I believe me and CJ and Doc went over this, but Ray and Easy, I don't know if I got did we go over who you guys thought was the Joker and who was going to win this tournament? Or were you guys here for that? That was 2 weeks ago.
That was 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So Ray, who if we talked about some of the Joker names that are out there already. Who do you think that the Joker would be, and who is in your finals, and who's going to go over? If you could guess right now.
The Joker's Cesaro, in my opinion.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
And I think him and Joe will have a classic match, but Joe will go over. And I think your finals are going to be Adam Cole and Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of us said that. I like that too.
And I feel like Samoa Joe wins it.
Oh,
yeah,
see,
we were picking Cole. We picked Cole. That's good.
Yeah, I differ from you on that.
So I want to change mine.
I really
you can change it. That's after round one. That's all
I know this is an unpopular thing, but I would have loved, and I know they couldn't do it because they have a match planned for FTR at the pay-per-view, but I would have loved to see Harwood go through it with all the the kickbacks to the Hart family and shit. Plus, it's somebody unexpected to win something like that. And like I said, dude, they are on another level right now.
For sure.
The other thing I heard would be whoever is the Joker ends up being lethal and then screw Samoa Joe over, so whoever it is wins.
I said that.
Yeah.
Here's one thought about the Joker that I don't know if any of you guys thought because I wasn't on that episode. But what if it's Davey Boy's son?
We didn't discuss that.
I'd be all right with that.
He had a someone from the door too. Yeah, that's a good one.
He's been on NWA a little bit, I think.
Yeah, he had a monster match against somebody this weekend, and he put somebody up in the suplex, and he said, "Yes, I really did that." And I can't remember who he wrestled this weekend, but it was somebody big. Like
I don't know. He quietly re-signed with WWE last year, and then was there for 4 months, never wrestled a match, and then they released him.
I remember that.
And Joe's the TV champ at Ring of Honor too, so it's like, can you really? I mean, I could see someone go over on him, but I kind of agree with how Ray's saying to see him in the finals as well.
So I want to change my guy from Moose,
Go
my
ahead.
Joker from Moose, to now. Think about this. There's a Joker on the women's side too, correct?
Yeah.
Yep, we'll
What
get to that.
about
I got
if
that.
the
Next.
men and the women are very simple. It's the Garganos.
Yeah, could be.
What if
Yes, so that's-
Johnny is the Joker, and what if Candace is the
Candace's
Joker on that
contract's up.
side?
Could be.
I'd be
That's a
completely
very good point. I
fine
kind of
with
like that, E.
Yeah, I'd be.
So,
completely
They're
okay with
both
that.
healthy
You also have Morrison and Taya Valkyrie out there if you wanted to do something along those lines.
Yeah, true. Now, I'd love to see Taya come in and fight Britt. I'm a huge Taya mark. But we now know that Storm, Tony will face whoever wins on Britt and the Joker. I've heard that, Deonna has really wanted to fight Britt too, even though Deonna just lost.
I've reffed a
always
Deonna
wanted to
Britt
fight
match.
Britt.
Yeah, I've reffed a Deonna Britt match.
So they want to fight again on TV, so it could be her. Does anybody else have any guesses who this Joker could be?
Mia Yim.
Mia Yim just showed up on Impact and signed a contract. We'll talk about that.
Well,
Mia Yim signed a
Nice lead into the next segment, though. But we got
Mia
to talk
Yim
about this a
did
little
sign a 6-month contract only, though. So maybe she had an agreement in place to do AEW and lose to Brit Baker, and she's just kind of feeling out. I mean, her husband does work.
I feel like that would be a bad use of the Joker.
It wouldn't be
would.
new
Yeah,
for Impact to loan somebody else.
I
would love to see Athena.
Yeah.
I want to see Athena. I would love
I'd
to
be
see
okay.
Ember Moon,
Yeah, I'd be okay
Ember
with
Moon come in.
Athena. I'd be
and
alright with that.
If she eventually she's supposed to come in at some point, and I'd like to see her and Jade. They're saying I've heard rumors that she could be the one to dethrone Jade down the line. And also Tony Khan talked yesterday that the trios titles are made, and they have been made for months. And he's waiting for Kenny Omega to come back to unveil them. So when Omega comes
could
back,
it be Tessa?
I don't think she
I mean,
just
she
got let go
she's got
from
booted out of
WoW.
WOW.
Yeah,
Right.
she did get let go from WoW because she's hard to work
I
with.
don't know. If
Yeah, I
they
was going to
want-
say, I don't know
It's a
if they
shame,
bring
'cause
that
I'd love to see
cancer
her
in.
fight
they
some
don't
people,
want
but the
that
cancer,
that bad press. I don't think.
Agree.
No, they
Well,
don't.
but let's face it, this has got to be somebody, and here goes me being that WWE mark here. Again.
It's all right. Go ahead.
It's got to be somebody with a name. They can't bring in
But does
Joe
it?
Schmo from Idaho and the women's side of things to
Whoa.
wrestle
No,
Britt
it's
Baker.
gonna
It could
You're gonna
be.
hear- well,
No,
no,
I
then you're
agree
going to
with-
hear Britt got an easy way, right?
Yeah.
I agree with E. It does need to be a name because otherwise, why
Right.
would you have the Joker?
Yep.
Right.
You know, to
Look
mean
at the
something.
past Jokers they've had in their other things. They're
But the
always
fact
somewhat
that
of worth.
the fact that they're putting them against Brit Baker.
That too.
If it was the Joker versus Red Velvet
Jamie
or
Hayter.
Yeah.
anybody else, that
Yeah.
the Joker could then go over and be a player in the tournament, then that makes sense for a big name like a Candice LeRae or something. So, I don't know. This throws a curveball just because of who she's versing.
Yep.
Because I don't see them putting Britt under, I don't know, a debut. I mean, they might just for a shock and all, but whoever that is then better be a major player in this women's division.
Now, I don't know if we covered this one and guessed who was going to be there, but I'm kind of if we could see Britt and Tony Storm, those are two of my favorites. I would not complain about that. I've heard a lot of rumors
I'd
about
love
Ruby taking this tournament because it could really help her because they really haven't given her much.
She kind of
But,
owes her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's start at the
I
bottom. E, who do you think ends up winning this, if you could guess? Including your
Actually,
Joker.
you just took it. I think it's Ruby Soho. I
Ruby,
really
yeah.
think that they need to give her the rub. Like,
Yeah, Doc, go ahead. E, finish.
I just don't see it happening any other way. It doesn't make
Yeah.
a lot of sense to do anything else but her, right?
Well, Mickey James
You already
would be a
gave
good
Rio
Joker.
the rub. You already gave Britt the rub. Tony Storm's new. Jamie Hayter, she's not really doing anything. Red Velvet, she got to wrestle Britt twice.
Yeah.
Somebody just put in the comments about Mickey James.
Yeah.
That is somebody who
Would
could
be a-
lose to Britt and still be a thing.
True.
How
Yeah.
And she's a
cool
name.
would that be
Yeah.
if
That'd
it
be
was
fucking
Mickey James and she would have
fantastic.
competed in the Rumble,
Yep.
been the Impact Women's Champion, and competed on AEW in the course of a few months,
Something
just like her
That'd
and
be
Christian
badass.
would be
Yeah.
Wow.
in a class of their own.
I
I
think
That'd be
don't
kinda
think
cool.
anyone's ever done that.
Become
Yeah,
a
but
month.
if that happens, you might as well kiss Impact ever doing anything with WWE ever again.
Well,
Man, I mean,
Impact-
That's true. Impact would, or WWE would probably be like, "What the fuck?"
there are
Yeah.
some really bad rumbles about Impact that I've been reading too. I mean, when they did their last tapings, 75 tickets they sold for their last tapings.
Oh, man.
That was their
Yeah,
first
but
run.
they're doing it someplace weird though.
I was gonna say it's also in bumfuck Kentucky,
Yeah.
like an hour outside of Cincinnati.
I'm just saying, who knows what's going to happen with him? I wouldn't be surprised Tony grabs them up next. Who knows? So, what about you, Ray? Do you agree with the Ruby sentiment, or you think somebody else?
I'm kind of hoping E's right. and I hope that it's Candice LeRae, because she's somebody young that can go that women's division needs. She's experienced enough that they need it. But I do think the final is going to come down to Brit and Soho, and I hope that they give Soho the run. In my opinion, she's been heavily misused, and she needs something like that.
Yeah.
Why'd you get rid of the graphic? I didn't pick yet, and neither did
I told you our graphics guy has ADHD today.
I thought you guys already said it was going to be Ruby.
No, I don't agree with that.
God damn it, CJ, who's your pick?
Tony Storm.
I'm down. I'm not going to disagree with that.
The ass that makes cash.
Yeah.
Hey, that was a lot of ass in that match.
Yeah,
Tony
her and
versus
Jamie Hayter. Yeah,
it was amazing.
I'm going Tony Storm, man.
There's a lot of jiggle going on in that
Switch
match.
it up a little bit.
Okay. Doc, are you going with Soho or no?
I actually thought it was I think the finals is going to go down to Tony Storm and Ruby Soho. Tony Storm victorious.
Cool.
It would be a cool thing since they're supposed to be friends, and you would get that handshake match and an honor and whatever.
If that Joker is Athena, I'd love to see
Chelsea Green.
Chelsea Green's another good one. There you go.
Is her arm healed up yet?
I don't know. What'd you say?
Yeah,
I said, are we overthinking this? Is this Brit Baker's rub for being the best champion they ever had, and we're going to give her the Owen Hart Tournament to, ride her off
that out
the
either.
sunset?
I think you're overthinking it because she's over. They want to put someone else over when it comes to this.
I don't disagree with you, E.
It could.
I don't think she needs it. I really don't.
I don't think she needs it at all. I don't.
She'd really brag about it, though. Something else to brag about.
The Owen Hart Tournament. We need to have our best wrestler be the Owen Hart winner, and then you're going to have her and Adam. Let's say Adam wins the men's side, and then you have the man and wife win the Owen Hart Tournament. These are our best wrestlers. And doesn't the winner of this get a title shot?
They haven't really announced that.
They've never announced any stipulation for that. I feel like, so for the pay-per-view, which I'm assuming is when the final two matches are going to be for this tournament. So you want your marquee people. Obviously, Thunder Rosa is not defending back against Brit. Jade hasn't started any type of program with Brit. So to get Brit on the pay-per-view, you almost need her to be in the final, which they're not going to leave her off a double or nothing.
Oh, I agree.
So
true, she could lose in
the final. Even if it's Brit and Ruby in the finals, you could still have Tony Storm in her corner and Jamie Hayter in her corner to get more of the women on TV for the pay-per-view. Yep. You know what I mean? And some shenanigans in that match or whatever.
But there's a lot of people talking about how there's only one women's match. There was two on Rampage last week and this and that. But I was looking through the whole roster, and legit, there's almost 100 people on the men's side. There's only like 20 women on the roster. So it's
I think they've been showcased.
If you look at the ratio, it kind of makes sense. But I see how people can say, there's only one women's match, But if there's only four matches, I don't know.
Here's your issue, though, and let's be honest, women's wrestling in general, until WWE's Women's Revolution, was highly overlooked.
Right.
So you don't have the depth out there like you do in the men's division for the women.
Right.
And
that's okay.
It's not even a third.
Yeah, and Tony Khan has come out and flat out said that our system, we don't hire people and train them to be wrestlers. Our system is a lot different business model from what WWE does, whereas WWE hires people, trains them, puts them into farm system, and makes them. And I think that is why the women's division in WWE is stronger, because they've built, they've farmed, they've trained their women.
Right.
Whereas
how they want them.
Yeah, whereas AEW is pulling women from the independents that don't get the opportunities the men get, don't have the training the men have, and take longer to season. Now, yes, you're going to have some gems in there, like a worker like Serena Deeb, who's been around, been through the system.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Brit Baker is honestly an anomaly. She was on the Indies and she was decent, but even in those first 6 months of AEW, when you watch her matches, I would have slammed those matches because they weren't great. But all of a sudden, something clicked with her, man, and she just started taking it to another level.
Yeah, she's at the top of her game. She really is.
So let me say this, guys. Let me say this. We didn't care as wrestling fans. We really didn't give a shit about women's wrestling until Charlotte Flair.
I disagree with that.
Okay, name the champion before Charlotte Flair.
I mean,
that doesn't mean I didn't care about
Fabulous
it.
Moolah. There you go. 1987.
Yeah, it doesn't mean I didn't care about it. I cared about it when it started being wrestling.
Okay. Well, then we didn't start paying attention to women's wrestling.
Well, it used to be all TNA.
I see the point you're trying to make, and it's not wrong, but it's that 4 horsewomen for the women. Like, yes, there was some feuds back in the day. Like Trish and Lita was always interesting. Mickey and James and Trish was cool. There was some highlights here or there, but for the most part, the women's division in WWE was.
But you get one match, right? You would literally get one women's match.
Yep.
Until Becky, Paige, Sasha
ending WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now you got women ending, a double or nothing match with Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker or whenever it was. They came down to a hardcore match. That all started when. You're right. The four horsewomen, all of that moved forward. Yeah. We wouldn't be talking about it. It'd be it would be evolution. That bathroom match.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I don't disagree with that.
When that group of women came up, they changed the work rate, they changed the opinion, and WWE has done a good job of building and keeping that going. I wouldn't say the best job, but they've done a better job right now than AEW has been. And like I said, it's because they built their depth. WWE can hire somebody and let them train and be in the the performance center. And
I don't think AEW's done bad, but I agree.
No, I'm not.
WWE's doing a far superior job.
Did you guys see like the listing that of the people they hired? They hired 3 cheerleaders and 2 gymnasts as female wrestlers a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
Men's side
all that NIL they're doing
too. On the male side, they're hiring like football players and collegiate wrestlers.
Their new directive is to not hire independent
and that kind of stuff. They're actually looking for athletes on the women's side of the thing.
Yeah, so we got 2 different ways to create stars. I'm down. One
as long as it creates a star, I'm good with it.
Yep.
The only thing, and this is where I think AEW has made mistakes, is with the women's division, anyways, is if WWE releases a woman from NXT or from the Performance Center, you're almost guaranteed that they're going to be on Dark just because there's not a lot of depth out there. The problem is if WWE is releasing them, there's probably a reason why. That doesn't mean they don't need seasoning. Like, I know that they don't do this with the men, that they hire independents, but I almost think that they need some type of Performance Center training. I know Dustin Rhodes works with the women, but not. I mean, they got to season the girls before they hit TV.
Yeah.
I would love those rumors to be right and Paige come back.
Like we saw that match with Vanessa Bourne. Or whatever. And she was the drizzling shit.
Yeah, she was.
Just because she had WWE pedigree did not make her any good.
That was bad.
Yeah, I'm being nice. I'm doing this new thing where I'm nice. It wasn't the best. Let's put it that way.
So we already touched base with a little bit of Impact stuff. We touched base with a little bit of WWE stuff. We're going to go quickly over those 2 shows here in our 2 cents. The 2 super cards, as I like to call them, we had Under Siege with Impact and WWE Backlash. Real quick, just to talk about how I totally legally watched Under Siege on the internet. We mentioned it earlier. Someone brought up Mia Yim. She did make her return and has signed a contract. All the champions retained. Taya defeated Deonna to keep her AAA women's title. Ace Austin over Trey Miguel for the X division. Tasha Steelz defeated Havoc for the women's title, and Josh Alexander defeated Ishii for the world title.
Nice.
The other story within that was Moose come out and cut a nice promo, bringing back the return of Sami Callihan, who's been injured for a while. That was a cool little storyline with mixing in with the world title, but the Briscoes winning the tag titles and adding the Impact titles to their reigns of 1,000 other reigns. It looks like they're going to stick there for a while. I don't know if any of you guys got to see Impact or have any thoughts on.
I did not, but I'm going to watch it tonight.
It was a
after
decent
we're
show.
Done. Yeah, I watched the last one. I forget what it was, but I was thoroughly impressed with the last one.
We talked about Moose.
Like
easy.
No Surrender or Sacrifice or something?
It's not a bad product, but they have the same problem that Impact has always had, which is they don't have national TV.
Yeah.
I mean, I cannot watch. I subscribe to Impact Plus, their streaming service.
I have access actually through my gimmick.
Yeah,
so I can watch it.
But I don't have Access TV on my cable provider.
I don't either.
So if I don't remember to go watch Impact, I don't watch Impact.
I get some YouTube matches. Oh, the other match was Honor No More and Bullet Club had, I think, a 4-on-4 or 5-on-5, and Honor No More actually went over the Bullet Club guys.
The fact that they have the access to the Bullet Club guys from NJPW, and that they're not doing better business, that tells you right there, in my opinion, that they have an access problem.
I'm telling you, there's something wrong going on with them with their ticket sales and what I've been hearing in a lot of places. I mean, they're bringing in people. They got Ishii in there to fight Alexander and stuff, but I saw Under Siege did 2,800 paid, but then they scheduled TV tapings for the next 2 days. But like I said, they scheduled them an hour outside of Cincinnati, which I don't know if any of you guys have been to Cincinnati or that area. Outside of Cincinnati, once you get outside of the city, it's
Kentucky.
Nowhere.
It's Kentucky.
It's Kentucky.
So I don't know if Impact's having issues or not. I mean, I hope they can pull their stuff out and keep going. Like Ray said, they do have a good product. They have some good stuff going on.
And I mean, like it or not, they've got longevity. They've been around for 20 years.
True.
So.
Hey guys, wasn't the Impact the last one? Isn't that where the Bullet Club turn happened? I know the Bullet Club turn happened last week. Wasn't it there?
Yeah, it was at the last pay-per-view a few weeks ago where they turned on
No Surrender.
Where they turned on the Gorillas of Destiny.
Yeah.
So
Jay White
that rumor is that they're going to WWE. At least it's been that way.
Gorillas of Destiny?
Yeah.
They remind me of those big dudes.
Authors of Pain.
AOP has their own federation. They just started their own company called Wrestling Entertainment Series, and they're going to have a show in Dubai in June. So it looks like they're jumping on the train of start your own promotion, see if that works too.
They have a big money backer.
As far well, if it's Dubai, I'm sure they have some Prince or Sheik or something behind them.
for sure.
But as far as the Gorillas of Destiny going to WWE, I think they should. They've been on top in NJPW. They've done all they can do there. They're going to get lost in the mix if they go to AEW. But WWE's tag team division is lacking hugely. And WWE also owns the entire tape library of their father, Ming, or Haku, or whatever you want to say. So they could also tie in with him and do some shit. I hope they go to WWE. But I hope WWE actually uses them correctly, which we all know that's a crapshoot.
And here's the sad part. I'm the other way. I kind of hope that they go to AEW because I think AEW.
Holy shit. Are you okay? Do we need to check in for fever?
They have a better tag division.
Yeah, they do have a good tag. I mean, he's making sense. So it works.
But that's the thing is, I think
Dawkins had a heart attack.
I don't understand how WWE cannot see the strength of their or the value of their tag division. Whenever
all
the
it is
Usos and RK Bro are headlining your shows, essentially.
Yeah. Doc, did you get to see any of the Impact show or anything?
No, I didn't.
Do you have any thoughts on Impact at all? I mean, no.
No, not
That's
at all.
kind of it sucks. Like as we're saying, wish kind of that there could be more. But we've mentioned a lot of the WWE stuff and Backlash. 6 matches, and I was kind of pleasantly surprised for them. We had Cody and Seth, which ended in tights. Omos and Bobby, which ended with MVP. Edge and AJ, which ended in Rio. So the first 3 matches, to me, I didn't like how they ended, but they were good matches.
I really like the Rhea turn.
I like the Rhea turn.
I actually enjoyed the pay-per-view.
I would like one.
If it's an unpopular opinion,
I enjoyed it.
I don't get wrong.
That main event, they brought it.
The main event was really good.
It was awesome.
I just wish there was some stakes in the main event without any title being on the line.
Without it being the unification.
I wish they would have had some kind of stipulation where if the Bloodline wins, this happens. If RK Bro, Scottish Warrior, whatever
Roman disappears.
Maybe Drew gets a title shot or something like that.
What about Ronda breaking Charlotte's arm? Did you guys?
I liked how they did that with her arm through the chair. I dug it.
Listen, that was the best Ronda has looked in her entire WWE run.
True.
Yeah. She looked great. She sold great. She looked like she was in the pocket and like feeling it and going with it.
Here's the caveat with that though. Is that because she knew she was winning?
Yeah.
Charlotte's going to be off TV for a while, and we talked earlier before the show about Roman now taking some time off, and he's not going to be at
Roman's doing the Brock schedule.
Yeah, he's going part-time.
They said Orton's scheduled. He's going to be on every TV and pay-per-view. unless he's taking a vacation. He'll only do like 10 to 20 house shows a year or something like that, 15, something like that.
But we did our picks, and actually CJ, Doc, and myself all got 4 out of 5. 4 out of 6, I should say. So we have our first trios champions.
I do want to kick back to Cody and Seth just real quick.
Yes, please.
Big Papa LaGreca from the Busted Open radio show.
Yeah.
Compared the Cody-Seth feud to Flair and Steamboat and to, what was the other? Shit, I can't think of the other one. But basically, he's saying he thinks it's one of the greatest things going of all time and shit like that. And
I mean, I don't know about all time, but
I've been really enjoying it.
They're going to put a good match on every time.
They've been good matches, but I don't think they're anywhere near that, and I hope that's not there.
No.
I like it.
I want it over. I thought it was over. I really thought that Cody was going to win the U.S. title, and that we were actually going to get a decent run, and Seth and him were over. I was kind of hoping for that, to be honest with you.
I think the consensus
See,
of
it's
a good show.
All. If it shits out next one, then off
here's
the drawing board. I mean, I actually like
it. Right? The next one is Hell in a Cell for these two.
Yeah,
possibly, yeah.
And so,
no, not possibly. I mean, they're counting on that main eventing if there's going to be no Roman.
Yeah,
the main event would have to be Seth and Cody in the cell. What other high-profile match do you have? I mean, you have RK Bro and the Usos possibly.
I think that you've got to build a villain on Raw, and you've built Seth to be this Joker character that there's just not enough there to make you guys care about Raw or make me care about.
I like it.
So last Raw, now that you mention that, I want to point out a couple things from Raw the other night. The first thing is Theory's interview in front of the crowd on that little podium was so old school. I love it. It was.
I thought I was 6 again.
Yeah, like me.
And if you listen to After the Bell, Corey Graves had mentioned that on After the Bell. He wishes that they would go back to the interview segments like that.
Yeah,
it was fun times. Maybe
so
they did that just to see the reaction too. You know what I mean?
Did anybody else see this before from Theory? Like seriously, did anybody else see this coming?
No.
Like he's a
it's big. No,
decent wrestler that can build up.
I think he's going to fight Cena at SummerSlam. Is the rumor?
Yeah,
I think I'd be fine
with that.
I would have never guessed that whenever he was Seth's disciple or with Gargano in NXT, that Theory was this good because they didn't showcase him at that point. So whether it's his growth over the last little while or whatever, but he's been phenomenal. He's playing his character fucking great. I love the podium segment. And actually, if you guys remember when NWA Power came out, 3 years ago or whatever, we all talked about, granted, we didn't have this show on a forum to go back and, but we all talked about man, we kind of love the old school feel of that because they were cutting promos, kind of that old school way and shit like that. And man, WWE did that better than anybody in the 80s. And I would love to see some of that kind of flavor come back just to freshen the show up, other than every promo being in the ring, or behind 4 guys standing in a row and whatever.
Or backstage with nobody and someone just standing there with a mic.
But Blaze, the other part that I like to talk about Raw, and you brought it up. You brought up I can talk about Raw because you brought it up.
Yeah. I got 2 more points I want to bring up about Raw real quick.
What about Corey bringing up the Fiend?
The Fiend in the front row. Some little kid had a
Fiend. I did catch that. Yeah.
It was
Vince ain't gonna let him make that. Vince ain't gonna make that him allowed to say that if there ain't something brewing. You guys know that.
The last I heard, Bray ain't coming back at all.
The past Bray
he's really enjoying horror movies.
WWE, but
so until that movie comes out, he's not coming back.
One thing I'd like to talk about Raw. I know, and I completely stand by the fact that 3 hours is entirely too fucking long for Raw. But one thing that they focused on the last few weeks, and I've really enjoyed, is they've had at least one match each week of Raw the last couple weeks that went 25 minutes. Through a couple commercial breaks. And they are finally giving granted, I
time to tell a story.
Yeah, I get it. You got to have 7-minute TV matches because you're trying to get a bunch of people on and you're trying to fit in between breaks and format the show. But for someone like me who I love the entertainment aspect, but I want to see the story. I want to see psychology done. I want to see a good fucking match unfold. And it's been great that they've been giving these matches some time. And I'm not saying they need to go AEW's route and give every match 25 minutes, but at least give me one. On Raw, you could almost do 2 matches, do one 25-minute, give one 15-minute match where there's some time for these people to tell the story and get the fuck over.
Yeah, absolutely.
The other thing I mentioned, which I don't really normally see them do on Raw, was they timestamped the match. They said Cody Rhodes is fighting at 10 p.m. And that was kind of interesting.
Oh, yeah.
They
to make you watch at 10 p.m. It ended up being a few minutes prior to 10, but you were there for those couple minutes prior to.
I think that's kind of a slap in the face. I think they're trying to gauge whether Cody's drawing or not.
Could be. I thought it was interesting to talk about.
Back in the day, during the Monday Night Wars, that's how they used to tell. Well, they would hold their shit for the top of each hour, and they would see what the spike was from that hour and how long it lasted to see who was over, who was tuning into what show and whatnot. And if they're going back to that I kind of don't like that. I kind of don't like it. I like a little bit of the. You can have artificial pops in that, and then you know what I mean, like.
And speaking of Cody, I know I can't be the only one that's surprised of how receptive the crowd has been to him and not turning on him and really, getting behind him.
Well, he's walking a line.
Superhero.
And he always, it's actually where I think he's the best, is he's walking the heel line. Like the grabbing the tights of Seth at Backlash. Some of the wording that he uses in his promos and like the swagger that he kind of tries to put out there, like the smart ass kind of,
It's funny to me that the first
his
word
vocabulary.
The first word of his entrance is a banned word because it says wrestling.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I still love that. So the other thing, there's always something to talk about.
Did anybody see the Dusty Rhodes look-alike?
Yes.
That was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't see a video, but they said Cody said he asked him to cut a promo like as Dusty, and that's what got him cracking up. So that was funny to actually hear that.
It was good. It was good.
I just love the cosplay.
The things that people are talking about, not really me, but it's worth bringing up, is the return of Alexa. But Alexa Bliss, I was more interested in the debut of Ken Owens. I love Ken Owens.
Go back. No.
I saw that coming from a mile. I knew that was a clown.
Oh yeah, it's the only thing I didn't like about the Alexa thing was she came out with the doll.
You got to sell the doll. That's money.
Her old music, I get it, but her old music, old type persona, but still with the doll.
Well, they said that they ordered 50,000 of the dolls.
I was going to say, that tells you Vinnie Mac paid for a bunch of those. He's like, no, we're selling this shit first. Doc, you had a point. You had a point. What was it? I know you got interrupted.
It's all right.
No.
No, it's just with Bliss and everything, do you think it's actually going to be legit? She's just going to be the Alexa Bliss again, the goddess, or do you actually think that they're just doing a little bit of a ruse and then she's going to go psycho again with the doll? I mean, I just that's. And then another thing about Ken Owens, what they need to do is bring Damian Sandow in to be alive.
We talked about that last week.
I posted that on our page.
And then have Kevin Owens bring somebody in to be Ken Owens. It would be kind of funny. I would laugh.
I love it.
Elias updated his Wikipedia page.
Oh,
because
Jesus.
Anybody can update Wikipedia pages. So he updated his Wikipedia page to say that he has a younger brother named Ezekiel that is now wrestling for WWE.
I love it.
What's Shulo's real first name? I can't think of it.
Jeff.
So I think he said he has a brother named Jason or like Jack, like some other J name. Shulo wrestling as Ezekiel. It's fucking great.
Oh, dude, that's classic.
The only other thing
I agree, dude. Sandow coming in would be a fantastic step for that.
Phenomenal.
And then
he'd be like, "You're Damian Sandow." He's like, "No, I'm Elias, man. I don't know what you're
have him play a guitar or something."
Have Kevin Owens go to the loony bin after this for a little bit. Like, have him committed. It would be hilarious. I love Kevin Owens.
Me to come in as Kevin Owens.
There you go.
I'll come in
as KO. So this is where I want you guys in the chat. We got 14 in the chat. Make sure you guys hit those thumbs up, and I need your involvement for the final segment, the Six Senses. So we want to know who your all-time favorite wrestlers are from 5 different promotions and one other. We'll be right back with our votes for our Six Senses, our Mount Rushmore of wrestling.
Yeah, they can move to this. Your soul man, they can move to this. It's brand new. Open your eyes and realize it's the new guys.
So there's a format to this, and we're going to go right down the line. I'll start with it and set up the list, and then we'll go right around the horn here and get everybody's votes. Who your favorite wrestler is. Now, I had to take into consideration some are indifferent, so I wanted to cover them all. But I want everyone to pick 1, your favorite of all time from WWE. 2, your favorite of all time from AEW. 3, your favorite of all time that have fought dead, alive, current, past in NWA. 4, your favorite wrestler of all time in WCW. 5, your favorite wrestler of all time in TNA or / Impact. And number 6 can either be another one from the first 5 or an indie wrestler, Ring of Honor, New Japan, whatever. So my list goes like this. My WWE one is someone different, but he's in a different company. So I picked Kurt Angle. AEW, Chris Jericho. He would have been my WWE, but he's in AEW now. So Chris Jericho is my all-time favorite in AEW. Not my favorite in AEW right now, but all-time. If I'm going to make a Mount Rushmore with these 6. NWA, Ric Flair. Dusty was a close second. So was Sting, but I got Sting for my WCW vote. So I got Angle, Jericho, Flair, Sting. In TNA, I had like 3 of them, but I'm going to go with AJ Styles. And my all-time favorite wrestler is Road Warrior Hawk. So I have to get him back on the list. So
holy
Hawk
shthat's a curveball.
Is my other.
I like it.
I've always loved Road Warrior Hawk.
I don't hate it. It's a curveball though.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's the way I want you guys to do it. So WWE first, and Ray, you're normally on the spot if you want to go first.
So how are we doing this again? Because I did it.
I'm gonna
wrong.
put it right in the chat. I'm gonna put it right in the chat. We go WWE, then AEW.
WWE. I think you have to go Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean,
now this isn't you. This is just you. Who your favorite is, not who you think overall. Okay.
Stone Cold Steve Austin for me was WWE, even a little more than The Rock. He had more longevity, etc. TNA, I'm going to cheat because he's been in almost every other company you speak of, but I'm going to go CM Punk.
CM Punk for TNA.
We know my affinity for Punk, even though CJ pinned him clean. NWA all time. I know the consensus is Ric Flair, but we all know me. I'm a Dusty Rhodes fucking guy through and through. For me, it's Dusty. I mean, it just is. Right. TNA all time.
Well, you already did TNA. I thought you said Impact was Punk.
No, AEW was. I'm sorry. Maybe I misspoke because I'm trying to think ahead here.
It's all right.
AEW is Punk.
Who's your WCW?
WCW, I know that he's so known as a WWE guy too, but I'm going Hogan. Hogan reinvented the fucking heel. And was so great. Granted, it went off the fucking heels later in life, but that nothing had an impact on me like Bash at the Beach in '96.
Yeah.
Did I give?
Can you put the
TNA was the last one. TNA is the last one.
TNA?
Nope. TNA and then your other. You got Austin, Punk, Dusty, and Hogan.
For me, TNA is Christian.
Okay.
That's the place Christian got to be Christian. And I fucking loved every second of it. And my other, which I don't give a shit about the flack. I stole his monkey ear. It's Shane fucking Douglas. That man changed wrestling for me. He changed wrestling no matter whoever doesn't want to give him credit, fuck you. Because he did exactly what the Attitude Era, all that shit is thanks to Shane fucking Douglas dropping the NWA title in the garbage can.
Can I go before I forget mine?
Sure, go ahead, CJ. WWE.
WWE, CM Punk.
All right.
AEW, MJF.
Ooh, gotcha.
NWA, Dusty Rhodes. WCW, Sting. TNA, Kurt Angle.
See, that's
other.
Could be anybody. CJ
Other,
Sensation.
I'm going to go with Bryan Danielson.
Okay. Dig it. Danielson. So CM Punk, MJF, Dusty, Sting, Angle, and Danielson. Easy, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm good. WWE for me is a no-brainer. I am the biggest mark for The Undertaker I think there is. So I'm definitely going to take WWE. AEW, CJ, you and I got it the same way, but I don't think he's going to be there very much longer, and that's MJF. NWA.
I also, before you stop, I also think he's gone in next year too. Unfortunately,
There was actually he retweeted
He said
a
a
post
line.
today.
He
I
said
think
a
he's
line
gone.
in that promo yesterday about
Let's
Cody
circle
Rhodes.
back to this because there's some
Yeah.
information. I'm gonna pull it up while he's getting.
Okay, I'll write that down
It's
for
his.
after this. Go ahead, NWA.
I'm going Steamboat.
Ooh, good one.
I dig it.
He for me changed a lot. WCW. Now this is where I have a little problem because I enjoy a lot of wrestlers from back in the day, but I think Hollywood Hogan changing the world has to be the biggest impact in WCW history.
Yeah.
TNA, I'm going with the owner of the company or Impact, whatever you want to call it. JEFFJARRETT.
Jarrett.
I dig
Jeff
it.
Slapnuts. I dig it.
I dig it, yeah.
I couldn't argue him on a Mount Rushmore. Now your last one. Your Joker, so to speak.
I'm actually going to go a step further because I'm going to put my favorite wrestler in ECW as Rob Van Dam.
RVD. There you go.
And
so
then my other wrestler is going to.
That's all. You're done. That's 6.
No, I guess my indie wrestler is definitely Matt Taven.
You want a 7th one then?
No, I got to create ECW because ECW is 10 times better than TNA, NWA.
I'm not.
That's why you have the other.
There.
It's an easy one. He wants
watch
a 7th.
indie
Right, we'll give you a 7th one then.
Thank you.
Doc.
One.
Yeah.
Mount Rushmore of the Doc.
Whew. This was hard. WWE, I went Bret Hart. I love Bret Hart. I was a huge Bret Hart fan.
Bret Fart.
Yeah. AEW, I went Jericho.
There you go.
I love Jericho. I just
Me too.
love just what I'm seeing. WCW Sting, and I'm talking back in the day. I'm talking the bleach blonde hair. I loved that Sting more than anything. NWA, you guys are gonna freak, but when I was a little kid, one of my favorite NWA stars, and I'm putting him on here, is Magnum Ta. Magnum Ta was such an awesome.
That's a good pick.
And I cried my eyes out when he wrecked his car. I
was going to say I would have loved to see if he would have had 10 more years of career.
If Jax would have been smart, they would have made a classic fucking superstar for the 165 I have downstairs, and they would have made. But did they make Magnum Ta? No, they waited for Mattel, just like Steamboat, which I was pissed.
There's no Magnum Ta figure?
No, well, there's Mattel ones, but there's not a Jax one, which crushes me. TNA, I'm going to say it's the house that AJ Styles really built. So I'm going to go with TNA there. And then you want an extra one, I can't leave Ric Flair out. I can't. But when I was trying to decide this whole Rushmore thing, man, if you think about it, he made such an impact on all 3. I think WWE, WCW, and of course NWA. NWA, him and Dusty built that house. They did.
Oh yeah.
The reason I picked Magnum Ta over that is I feel like he was a star headed to just higher proportions, and then it just disappeared. So
me and Doc think alike. We have 4 out of the 6 are the same. I dig it.
Speaking of old school NWA, that anybody see in the Dark Side of the Ring segment that Barry fucking Horowitz?
Yeah, Horowitz.
Yes,
I love it.
Cameo.
When Barry Horowitz came in, I'm on his Facebook, and
what did he say?
laughed.
Wardlow's terrible,
time
man.
out. 3 o'clock comes awful early, so I'm gonna bounce out, guys.
Peace out, brother.
But I'm zonked, so I'm gonna.
It's good having you on, man. Always.
Bye, guys. See you.
So let's circle back to the MJF thing before we.
Yes.
Yeah, let me
Before
close
we
this out.
depart.
I didn't want to just say
All
pick your. I wanted to have some kind of restraints on it. So
5 hours ago.
I can't. It's
green screen. Gotcha. Stick
5
it right in
hours.
front of you.
You're gonna have to take my fucking word for it.
You have to hold it in front of your chest.
Jacob Maxwell Friedman reposted a thing from Sean Rossap, and all he put was 2024 period. And the post from Sean Rossap says MJF remains frustrated with his contract situation. It is leaning towards not resigning with AEW as things stand. Fightful Select has learned. Full story for subscribers coming soon. And MJF reposted this on his Facebook page.
And like
MJF is flipping off Tony Khan right now at every chance he gets, saying, "Motherfucker, I want Punk money or I'm gone."
And you
that's
heard
all
what
it
he
is.
said during the promo segment
Yes, he
for the
did.
contract signing about 2024.
And
I thought he meant it like Cody Rhodes coming back to AEW.
Always in character, so it's tough to say. You know,
No,
is he really? I think he's really
character.
gone. But at the same time, he could be trying to get as much money as he can off of Tony. As well.
Well, good for him.
Yeah,
I
don't
know
blame
not
him.
everybody who tunes into us is a football fan. But if you are a football fan, you know the gross fucking mismanagement of the Jaguars franchise, which is owned by the Khan family.
yeah.
Yeah.
And God, please do not let the way the Jaguars are run into AEW. Tony Khan needs to back the fucking Brinks truck up to MJF and give him whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
Because in WWE, MJF is the biggest star. I mean, he'll be right up there with Reigns.
No, he won't.
Unless they, well,
No, he won't.
He'll be mid-card.
He won't
be
but
buried.
He should be.
He should be. He will be buried. He will be buried, and they will misbook him. Guaranteed.
They
Where
fuck
did
him
Cody
up.
lay that groundwork? The people coming over are going to get treated right.
You didn't let me finish, man.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Clarence
He'll
Thomas.
be the biggest star in the world. Let me finish.
I was waiting for him to do it.
He'll be the biggest star in the world unless they fuck him up, which this is WWE. They will fuck him up.
Yeah.
And he will end up the Miz 2.0, which is another star they fuck up because the Miz is way better than mid-card talent.
Agreed.
In AEW, Maxwell Jacob Friedman is 1A or 1B in that company.
Agreed.
With CM Punk or Kenny Omega or whoever they're pushing as the very top star. So I get it that Tony Khan has stated that he had a strict budget for, what he wanted to do, and he broke that budget a little bit because certain people became available that he didn't think would be available, a la CM Punk, a la Bryan Danielson. But tell Daddy you need a loan and back the fucking Brinks truck up for MJF.
And hey,
that is your money.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room.
That's your modern day Ric Flair, bitch.
Easy, he already left.
Freddie Prinze Jr. is starting a wrestling promotion.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, his company.
Yeah, but if you've actually read into that more than just the headlines, he's done a few interviews where he talks about how he would structure his company.
Yeah.
And he actually said he would want wrestlers to be part of SAG so that they could get benefits and all that stuff, which is great. But he's also saying that he doesn't want to put anybody under an actual contract. He said that he wants to run it as an independent. Yeah. So I don't know how those two kind of thing, because if you're going to be a member of SAG and that's going to be your thing, then you can't take other independent bookings. Once you're a SAG member, everything has to go through SAG. I don't know if a lot of people know that or not, but that's the way it is.
I listened to his podcast, Wrestling with Freddie. I dig it. He talks
I've heard it's pretty good.
About all the old stories from WWE when he was a writer there.
I'm not saying I wouldn't be interested. I absolutely would.
Hell yeah.
I would go in a heartbeat. I would go work for Freddie Prinze Jr. in a heartbeat.
He has a 3-year plan, all lined up money-wise. And he could be, whether he loses money or not, he got 3 years. He had a place in LA, but it was too much on the rooftop with an LA skyline behind it.
I'll say it. Hold on.
What kind of show that would be?
Hold on. Let me say this. Jim LaMotta, let's do a tag. Let's go. We'll go as a team. Me and you. Me and one of the goats of Pittsburgh commentary, Jim LaMotta.
Big shout out to Jim LaMotta.
I'll definitely take Freddie Prinze.
Thanks for ditching me already, bitch.
Hey, you have no idea. Me and Jim LaMotta have been trying to team up for a while. We were going to, and then Ron Hunt showed up.
A Donkey DH team has been in the works since I hired you to do your first commentary job.
Well, now I got 5.
And now Freddie Prinze Jr. comes in.
There's something else. There's something else in the works too. I can't really say just yet, but me and CJ might be working together somewhere else too. That's all I'm going to say.
So 25 episodes, dudes. We have now have 25 in the book. Let's hope for 25.
I'll talk to you later.
And we normally do a little last word from everybody, but now we
thrown under the bus for the Scooby-Doo movie. What the fuck?
The Scooby-Doo movie.
We get our last words, but we have a segment for it now because I love when people say at the end of the day. So if you know someone who says at the end of the day, they probably say it way too fucking much. Another one I don't like.
I do know.
No other I do, and this guy says it sometimes here. I heard it. I was watching IndieWrestling.us, and he says, "I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie." And then you say something. Does that mean you normally lie?
No, whatever he says after he says, "I'm not gonna lie," is 173%.
So at the end of the day, CJ, at the end of the day, last word.
At the end of the day, Doc, I actually do know. It clicked in my head. So, yeah, that'll be badass.
I'm excited, and hopefully goes through. And I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I'll make sure it happens.
So, are we going to get the scoop on it when it does get official?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, we will.
But at the end of the day, I'm fucking exhausted because I spent all day studying for my certification exam for the new job because I took it on Tuesday and I didn't study. And you needed a 37 to pass. I got a 36. Go figure. So
try again. I'm
putting in my studying time, and I'll be good to go. I'm sure.
Jim, you didn't type. Jim, you didn't type that in. Sorry.
At the end of the day, Doc.
At the end of the day, first of all, brother? Jim, you didn't type that in pronouns. Love you, kid. That was for you. Fuck pronouns. Anyways, I wanted to say that. At the end of the day, this 9 o'clock shit is killing me. Thanks, DH. Yeah. All right, anyway. Other than that, I'm good.
RWA is Saturday, right?
Yeah, RWA is Saturday. I'm excited. It's going to be a stacked card. Ryan Edmonds is actually going to put his RWA Heavyweight Championship up on the line.
Against?
These
nuts.
Rev Ron.
Nice.
CJ fucked it up. It was Ron Hunt.
Ron
the
Hunt.
Rev, who's been on the show.
Been on the show.
Finally getting a shot at the champ who's ducked him now for 2 to 3 years.
So, Doc, if he wins the title, can we have an RWA champion on our show?
Yes, you can. Ryan Edmonds has actually mentioned coming on and clearing his name on the show.
So that's guaranteed we're going to have the RWA
I've got
champion
some guaranteed
on the show. You heard it here first.
So we just got to coordinate.
All right, yeah, coordinate. Like
Ryan,
Boomerang. Got to coordinate with the mushroom jacket.
Coordinate.
All right.
Ray, you got to start it out with at the end.
I'm going to say this in character. Ryan Edmonds is the third member of the circle that I would want on the show.
Oh, the third. Right. There was only 3 members. That's the best.
Cody have an end of the
day? He's probably watching it going, that asshole, that stupid asshole.
At the end of the day, you gave Eazy-E 7 Mount Rushmores.
I know. I didn't mean to.
And not to be outdone, I'm making 8 because FTR, when it's all said and done,
man.
Should be on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling.
We'll do tag teams.
They are what wrestling needs because they give a shit. And I hope to God that somebody with a brain puts these guys in charge of training up-and-coming wrestlers and teaching them how to tell a fucking story, structure a fucking match, and cut a fucking promo. DH out.
There you go.
Top guy out.
So, from your boy Blaze McCoy, at the end of the day, I'd like to thank Eazy-E, Doc, CJ, and Ray for us doing this. This is 25 episodes already.
And I want to thank all of you guys for going later because I am overworked, underpaid, and fucking dying.
Yeah.
And it's something where we don't if we have another day of the week where we can do one, you never know. We may switch it up on you. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you have the bell rung for notifications. I always promote the hell out of the show so you know when it's coming and you know when it's going to happen. As long as it's not
Wednesday, because I religiously watch Dynamite on Wednesday.
But you also know it's always coming from
your Wednesdays are about to get busier. I got to talk to you about that Sunday or Saturday.
Okay, I will be live here momentarily for Leaning Towards Death Wrestling. The
Are we staying on to talk after this?
Stay tuned, people. At the end of the day, we're out.